What's up guys, it's Selka and today I'll be analyzing your assets. So as some of you know, I made a post on my community Discord asking for people to send me their assets if they want a forecast on them on the video. And the reason why is simply because I'm starting a new type of video where I give forecast about your assets on a weekly basis. So this is the first episode and I've got a few reply. So we're going to check out all the one you see right there with the red tag. And if you want your assets to be featured in the next video, feel free to comment down below or simply join the Discord via the link in the description, where you can always send me your assets and I'll be replying to you there. So with that being said, let's get started. Alright, so I'll be covering every time frame, starting with the daily, then the 4-hour, and then the 1-hour for all the assets. And also, I forgot to mention it in the intro, but I've made those 4 different type of correction that I used to put in my videos in the top right corner, so you can always see them if you don't know what I'm talking about when I say regular flat or running flat or different type of correction. You have them all in the top right corner, and I invite you to look at them during the analysis, which should help you a little bit more to understand what I'm talking about. So now for Atom in the daily chart, I really think that you have an impulse right there until that top, right? Until that top you have an impulse, and this impulse has correction in it, all right? So this right there is a contracting. In my opinion, you have an impulse right there, contracting, another impulse, then you have an expanding right there. To me, this is an expanding. So both correction right there are a correction that you never really see. You barely see those correction. It's the one that happen less often. So the expanding and the contracting. Now we've got another impulse, and now that closes the impulse that we've got in the daily plus time frame. So this is the top in your daily plus time frame, and you're looking at this move, this down move, as the first retracement of your bigger correction. So a bigger one in the daily more. So even though I think it's even weekly or maybe monthly. So first retracement right there, and you know after first retracement what you get a correction. That should be a correction for all the move that you've got right there. All right, so that's the next step. We're looking at an up move that should be going up, and most of the time will not break the top, all right, but that should also be going up. All right, so something slow and going up. Now is it going to go from now? It could, but it won't happen 100%. all right, you can have a simply correction right there, a simple correction, a regular flat that will come and break the low one more time before you get the actual up move. So it doesn't need to be right now, but what I can see from that is that you have a lot of probability that it happens right now. All right, so next move is going up, and then probably a down move to complete the correction, and then the impulse that you're looking at, called the bull market, the bull run that people call this. So you're stuck in the correction for a long time. I don't think that the bull run is for now, so that's why you've got 2 steps to complete before it actually happened. So two steps for your correction. Now let's focus on the first steps, which is a buy. And I cannot tell you where it will stop. I can only tell you that the direction is probably to buy from that point. Now let's go in the smaller time frame, in the 4-hour chart. 4-hour chart, it's focusing this move. Let's focus this one. To me, this is an impulse. All right, it could have been a correction with the way it went up, but you see when it goes up fast, it makes correction but goes with an impulse. You can see this move as a correction at first, but when you go on the higher time frame, you know that it's an impulse because it looks like this, right? So that's the thing that's hard with the wave theory. Sometimes it's looking at a move like it's a correction, and turns out that this move is an impulse. But you always got to keep in mind that if it's an impulse and not a correction, it should be an impulse for the higher time frame, and that's why in weekly now it doesn't look like a correction, it looks like an impulse. And at this point you should take it as an impulse, even though it looks a little bit messy. So from that point, this is an impulse and this is your correction. So after an impulse you get a correction, and after a correction you often get another impulse. Now the next move in the 4-hour time frame should be an up move to come and retest the top, and the condition for that is to not break the low. So as long as the low is not broken, we're gonna look for a buy, simply because as you can see in the side right there, you've got right there a regular flat. All right, it's the move that we're looking for right there. An impulse, a correction. When this correction is done, an impulse, and this should complete a regular flat at least. So at least a regular flat for this one, and at least a regular flat in the bigger time frame. So you can see them in the downtrend, in the uptrend, regular flat. That's the goal. Now, is the move done and ready to come up? I will not be sure, simply because you know the condition is to not break this top, this low. If you're going for the regular flat, that means that for this correction right there, you should not break this low and you'll get another up move. And that's the 4-hour chart. Even though we're on daily, it's a 4-hour move. And in this move, what I can see in the smaller time frame is that you have a possible running flat that tells you that the move is maybe not ready to go up. So because of that impulse that you see right there, you've got an impulse, a retracement, correction, retracement, another impulse, and this completes a potential running flat, especially because of the impulse down that you've got before. So before you got an impulse, a correction, so you should probably have another impulse to come and retest the low. Once the low is broken again, then as long as you don't break this one also, you'll be looking at buy setups, as you know that the direction is to come and break the top. So you'll be looking at buy setups, and it doesn't need to happen, but if it does happen and you see something clean like this, that's where you should come and try to trade this move. As you know the direction, you simply need to wait for the setup. So in the 4-hour time frame, I'm looking at a drop, then an up move to come and break the top. All right, so 1-hour time frame, same thing. In the same thing as I said, this to me is an impulse that could be matched with another move, which is this one. All right, this one that we've got right there. So this could be completing running flat, even though it looks a little bit ugly because it's a bit scratched right there. So because of that drop, get this correction and get another drop before you get the actual up move that I'm talking about in the bigger time frame. So that's it for Atom. I think you got it right there. So don't get baited. I'm expecting a drop for most cryptos in the lowest time frame. So don't get in thinking that it will go up right now. Should wait for this little drop and then go in, unless you see a really clean setups that tells you that no, it won't go down. So if you see something like this, then you should not be expecting a drop before the up, but simply an up move right away. So if you get something like this, all right. Now CHSB, this one, we're gonna take a look at the bigger time frame, of course. And in the bigger time frame, I actually have nothing. So I'll pretend that the move is coming from the bottom. And if that's the case, then this is your first retracement and you're looking at this as a correction. So a move that will slowly go up, then go down before going up for a big impulse, like the actual bull run again. So all the impulse that we see right there in bigger time frame are often in the bull run, or in a special case where you see euphoria and where those move actually pops off. And I don't think we're in there for most of those crypto. So we're gonna keep focusing on those small correction that we're in after a huge drop, and this is where we at for most of these assets. Maybe not the forex pair, but all the crypto at least. I think we're in this scenario. So for this one, looks like it will go up in a slow uptrend for a correction. Now, is it going to go from now? We need to take closer look at the smaller time frame, but we know that in the daily chart this should be the direction. So if we get a downside direction, it is because it's in the smaller time frame, but whenever the smaller time frame will be done, then we'll get to see that up move. So don't mix every time frame. they are different. So if you're trading the daily, you should be looking at up move, so up setups for upside. And if you're looking at the smaller time frame, maybe this is telling us that it will go down, and it actually is. So we're going to take a look at this right now. In the smaller time frame, I do see a potential drop. All right, so 4 hour and 1 hour. All right, I'll tell you about the 4 hour move and then the 1 hour move. So 4 hour, I've got an up move right there, a correction. All right, this correction is a regular flat before you get an up move, and all this could be a regular flat, but this time for downside. So you get a regular flat right there for upside with this impulse and then another impulse, but you also get this regular flat potentially for downside, so another down impulse to come and retest the low. That's why I told you in the daily chart that it might not be ready yet to come up. That's only for this reason. Now this is the scenario, all right, going down for the 4 hour chart. And in the 1 hour chart, you even have another scenario that is telling you that it will go down. It's this potential running flat. All right, you have this drop, you have this running flat potentially, and this will lead to another drop, at least to retest the low. But most of the time this goes also for the 4 hour chart, a regular flat right there, and will probably break this low also. So probably a down move right there from this point. As long as this top is not broken, it should go down. CHNG, so this one daily chart, I'll try to go faster for the other pairs, as it will take a little longer. But this one, if that's real and this impulse is looking like this and you have a drop, then this should be probably a correction. All right, so this is probably a 3-wave correction that came and broke the top. Then you've got another drop, so you're potentially, right, you're potentially in this running flat. Up move, drop to complete this running flat with this impulse up. So this could go for an impulse and make this running flat. Now, is it going to happen? Is this running flat going to happen? There's not a lot of chance. It could, but there's not a lot of chance. But as long as this bottom is not broken, which I don't think it's the case, it should go up, right? You should be looking at up. Now, if you want to play it safer, and because I tell you right now this running flat is looking ugly, it might not even be a running flat, because of the way these impulses are looking and the way this running flat in general is looking, then you should be looking at an up move to correct this downside, and then potentially another drop before an up move. So same thing as all the different crypto, a slow move up before a drop. So this should be the goal. Now this is potentially a correction for another push up, then a drop, since this move overall is looking rangy, so a correction. But this also could be just a drop straight up, because this correction, yeah, this is enough of a correction for the move to drop. All right, this is looking pretty rangy, pretty corrective, and you can have a drop before an actual up move. All right, so I would like to see the correction to come and break the top one more time before going down, as this correction will be enough for this drop. But if it goes down right now, it might not be enough, so you might be waiting for a bigger correction, something like this. And that's why I'd rather see it come and break the top before going down. But either way, you know that you're waiting for a correction. So up move, down move. Smaller time frame, I already talked about it, but this one probably going to go down. And now if it doesn't, then it should probably come up, then go down. It depends on this, if that's a correction. And as I can see, it could really be, with that small flat come and break the top. Now with the Bitcoin drop, I'm not sure about it, and that's why I would not be trading it, simply waiting for it to see if it's going for the drop or not. But in both case, this looks like, yeah, actually looks like it will drop, simply because you have this up move, this running flat right there, then another up move. So this completes a regular flat for downside for this drop. So this could literally drop. I think it will drop. All right, Quant, this one also I don't have enough data, but let's say that it comes from the bottom, and if that's the case, you're looking for this flat in the smaller time frame to come and retest the low. So I'm making already the analysis for the 1 hour time frame. For the 4 hour, probably this regular flat also, all right, to come and retest the low also, this one. And in the daily chart, again, up move. So after you have retested the low, an up move. So retest this low and then go for an up move to give a correction on this move. So something like this will be probably what will happen, all right, something like this. Now CAS, this one again, not enough data. So when I don't have enough data, it's hard to make an analysis because I don't have what happened in the past and where we at right now. But from what I have, I can tell you an analysis, and it will be right there. Since you have this, let's say you have an impulse like this and a correction, then another impulse, and you'll be looking as this as the first retracement. So a correction for that retracement before a drop, and to complete eventually maybe a regular flat or a running flat, doesn't matter. But even though yeah, probably correction like this for another up move eventually. So this is your first retracement, and look for upside. Now in the smaller time frame, I think you're currently in a move. Maybe there is a running flat. Let me check. You have this, right, this one. All right, so you could be on a running flat with this piece. So up move, correction, up move right there, complete this running flat for another drop. So after this drop, it could be it, because you have this running flat already completed. So the same thing as this move. And if that's happened, then you should be looking at this a setup like this before it goes down, break the low, then looking for buy setup. So it will probably do something like this in the smaller time frame. Now TRB, this one on daily. All right, this one has data. It's a little bit better to see, but I can not be sure of if that's come from the bottom or not. Let's say it does come from the bottom, right? If it does come from the bottom, then you probably have this as a correction and this up move. So this would be your top. That means that the structure has this top of the impulse is right there, and then you have a retracement, correction, retracement, up move, which looks like an impulse, a potential correction. So I think you will drop, have another up move, drop again before an actual up move. So I think this one is a little bit complexer. So maybe you have this drop right there, up move, another drop, and an up move that will be a real up move uptrend after that, because it will complete this running flat and you have this regular flat completed. So either you have this or you have a different type of structure, which is this up move, this correction, then another up move, and the running flat you have is right there. So this one is complex. It looks like shit, not gonna lie. You have this impulse matched with this impulse, this down move matched with this down move from the top, and this correction left. So looks really ugly, but could be your running flat. So you could see the price simply tagging the low and taking off because of that impulse down. So tagging the low, then taking off. So it could be it, only tagging the low then take off, or tag the low, come back up, tag the low again, then take off. So both scenarios are possible. It's too early to say. Now let's say in the smaller time frame what I see, and I see definitely an impulse down. All right, a small correction right there, which looked sick, this one, and then you have an up move. So you're probably going to have a correction, another up move, retest the top, and then a drop. So you probably have another up move impulsive like this, so something like this, then come back down. And if you don't have this, then you will have a running flat instead, so something like this. So either this is an impulse for a running flat, something like this, because of that down impulse, and it will go down after, or this is a regular flat, so you'll have this correction, another up move, come tag the top, and then go back down. So in both cases, I think this impulse, if it's exists for real, then it should be part of a correction, which is either a regular flat or a running flat as of right now. So we'll get to see it. I think with the Bitcoin drop, you might see a running flat, so we'll see that. Now Flux in the daily chart, this one you're within a correction, I think. It actually depends, all right? If this comes from the bottom, it depends. Let's say it comes from the bottom, right? I have a lot of those assets that doesn't have a lot of data, so we should check if they come from the bottom or not. But if this one does come from the bottom, then we have a drop, which is the first retracement, an up move, which is impulsive, then a drop, correction, drop, which is probably a B wave, right? This is probably a B wave, and this is your A wave. So this drop could be part of a running flat right there. So this is your running flat to come and retest the low and complete this correction with this C wave right there. If that's the case, we'll see it come up, tag the top, then come back down, which I think it is what it will happen. And when the bottom is tagged, then this can come back up at any moment. So in the daily chart, look for up move when this low is broken. Whenever it will be broken, you look for up move. But I can already see from the smaller time frame that you have an impulse. So this is probably a regular flat right there for that drop. And if that's the case, you'll see another drop before the actual up move. So in the smaller time frame, I see that already. Now we're gonna go through pretty quick, but yeah, definitely I've seen it. This is a drop, this is an impulse, this is looking like a correction. You'll probably get another impulse before the drop. Now again, with the Bitcoin drop, I think this will come down, make a running flat instead. All right, so something like this won't break this top and then come back down with this down impulse to retag the lows right there and the one on the daily. So should be waiting for a drop right there, an up move, and then a drop again for a running flat. USDJPY, this one in the bigger time frame, quick. This has a lot of data, so check out the bigger time frame, will be better. I think right there you have a flat. All right, so this is either a correction for a drop because it came from the top, all right, or just this is the correction for the drop. In both cases, this will come and break the low in the next years. All right, so that's the weekly. The daily one, you know that you're looking for a sell. All right, and the daily chart, I'm looking for a bigger correction to then come back down. All right, so that's the daily, looking for a bigger correction. Now the smaller time frame, you probably have some running flat in there. So first correction right there, running flat, probably with this piece also. So let me remove this. Probably all this you're running flat. So all this, another drop, impulse, drop, correction, drop, correction, drop, impulse. So probably another running flat. All right, probably this running flat also that came and broke the low. Now I think you should be looking at the move that will go like this, break this top, makes a regular flat, and then a drop. So in both cases, I see a drop. I see this dropping while making correction. So this one is a flat for sure. It's a regular flat. Then you have a drop, then an up move. So I think you really have a complex structure right there, which is a running flat, then a drop, and I'll be waiting for a regular flat right there or any kind of correction before having another drop. And when you'll go for the bigger time frame, which is the move you're looking at in the daily chart, you'll see that it will go like this, impulse correction, and will start a bigger move. So it will really go big and not like small like this. All right, so you'll get to see it, it's coming. Now Sol, I think you got a running flat. So let me remove this, and this is a running flat that I talked about it in my last weekly analysis, I think. So up move, drop, correction, drop, up move, and as long as this top is not broken, you should be looking for sell, as this could be a running flat. All right, so as long as it's not broken, this is to me a running flat that will retest the low. Now that's the smallest time frame, so the smaller time frame. We're gonna check the bigger time frame, and the bigger time frame is a correction, at least bigger than this one, So when the low will happen, we'll be looking for an up move that will be at least bigger than what we see right there before another actual drop, or it can even be a trend reversal that can come really high. All right, we have no clue, but at least a correction for this drop will be needed. So that's the plan in the bigger time frame. Now TWT, for this one, let's see if that's all the data I have. I'm looking at this move as a running flat. All right, you have this move, down move, up move, correction, up move, down move. So this is your impulse, this is your other impulse, and that's your regular flat right there. So A, all this is your B, and this last move is your C. So something like this with that impulse. Now that you've got your correction, it's completed, you need to be careful, as this right there could be your top and this is your first retracement. So maybe a correction, another drop before an actual continuation. So you can be stuck in this move for a long time. So if you're not out yet, if you have not sold yet, you should be waiting for the correction to do so, because you have a lot of chance that this comes back down before actually going up. In the smaller time frame, pretty quick. So I'll do that right now. Oh, I'm actually typing. So this one right there, yeah, you have this correction, could go down, have another up move, make this running flat, then come back down, and then start the up move that you're looking for in the bigger time frame. So that's something like this that I see right now. Now the next one should be this one, AP. So this one in the daily chart, I don't have enough data, but I know a little bit what it looks like. It looks like a clean structure like this. So to me, this is a regular flat in the daily chart. This is the one that is clean in the higher time frame. So I'll be looking at this as a regular flat, as the next move should be up to come and break the top if everything happens. If you have the right trigger element, this should come up to the top and nothing will be stopping the price. So the direction in the daily and in reality is to come and break the top. Now if you want to play it safer, you can come and aim for a correction for this drop, but knowing that the move looks like this, it's better to simply take it as a running flat and expect an up move. So from that point, look for setups in the smaller time frame. Doesn't mean it will go right now, it can wait, it can literally crawl for a long time before. So you have this regular flat right there, then another move right there, looks like an impulse. So I would not be surprised if you get a drop because of that move, probably a running flat right there, or maybe even with this one. So probably with this one, correction, up, probably a running flat right there, then a drop. When the drop will break the low, an up move to match this up move right there. So it won't go that high, it will do something like this, match this up move, completes a running flat right there, running flat, and then a drop before actually taking off. So you can be expecting something like this. I think the drop will probably happen while the Bitcoin will do that. So something like this will probably happen. Now GMX, the last one in the daily chart, I don't have enough data for this one also, but let's say it starts from there, because it could be, I think it starts from the bottom. So from the bottom, this move looks like it's an impulse, a retracement, and this could be a correction. All right, this could be a correction if the moves really start from the bottom, and if that's the case, I'm looking at this move to come and retest the bottom before it actually takes off for the regular flat. So I'm seeing this as a potential regular flat, and we'll be keeping an eye on this smaller time frame if it comes and break the low, as it should. So in the bigger time frame, it's a drop, retesting those low, and then an up move. Now let's see if it's the right time to go for that drop. And yes, you have this impulse, probably have this correction already. So this running flat is already done, came to retest the low, so it's done. Now you probably have this regular flat right there that will come and retest the low, and probably at the meantime retest this one. So could be the setup that comes and retest this one also, but could also be a setup that will lead to another sell setup and come and retest it slowly. So right there, up move, then drop and retest this low. All right, so that's about it for today's video, guys. I hope you guys liked it, and again, feel free to ask for different assets to be featured in the next episode, which should be next week. And if you guys like it, please make sure to comment it, to put a like on it, and to share it with your friends. So again, if you like this video, so that's about it. If you like this video, guys, feel free to put a comment, to share it with your friends, and put a like, of course. And also, if you want your assets to be featured in the next video, feel free to ask in the comment below, or simply join the community Discord, which is in the description down below. So again, thank you for watching, and see you next time.